You may be familiar in your own turf. You understand the lay of the land, the dynamics of it, and you could probably bring something into play a lot quicker. But when you are straddling borders, it's another issue, right? You're not in that country, you're not operating there, you don't understand it well, but you think there is a need. Do your points of reference alter then in terms of how you decide on whether you get into a market or not? What goes through your mind when you're trying to take something that works where you are into another territory? Alan?
Okay, I'll raise them. Okay. For me, I actually see the borders as barriers to entry. So for ones that we actually can find a comfort zone, it actually is a competitive advantage. Now, whether or not it's a linguistic difference, legal difference, structural difference. I think, and I think, on your topic about entrepreneurship across border, if the government has been less proactive about facilitating globalization these days, it's not going to stop. Consumer drives the need. And entrepreneurs always fill the gap. So I actually think this is where opportunities come. We always look at a glass not half empty but half full. We always look at opportunities, and I actually see that as an opportunity rather than a deterrent.
How about yourself, Josh? Taking things overseas, yeah.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of starting my business overseas from day one, while being physically present in Singapore. And it wasn't intentional. It was merely because the market that I operate in commerce and e-commerce was way bigger in the US, which meant that I had a little bit more room to give, a little bit more room for error. And even if I failed, I would still be kind of successful. The challenge then came, which was I wasn't physically present in the market. I didn't understand the local culture. I didn't understand the local economy, and I had no boots on the ground. So I had to, and also no resources and no money, no seed funding, no seed capital of any kind. But I had scrappy ways of getting around them. There were, in the early days, Facebook groups where communities were built across borders, regardless of where you're from. If you're in e-commerce, and it's a booming industry. There's tons to share and tons to learn. So there were watering holes like these Facebook groups. I think on Twitter, on forums, in different groups that were digital and easy to access, that I could be a part of, a valuable contributing member. And that's how I ended up finding my first group of early clients. It was a lot of brute force hustle, to kind of say the least. But it eliminated the need for resources and replaced that with what I had in abundance, which was time and energy. And so I had to play to my own strengths, which was tons of time, tons of energy. Let's see how far I can take this. So that worked out well.
To some extent, do you think operating virtually was to your benefit because you're trying to enter into a US market? You'd be an unknown factor, right? I mean, it's easier sometimes in a virtual context to present a stronger proposition. Do you think that is the case?
I think so. I think so. And another advantage of doing it the way that I did was I could pull the plug very easily. There's no sunk cost to be worried about. There's no investment to recoup. And if it failed, pivoting would mean literally going from one online forum, on one online community to another online community. So that gave me the agility and ability to compete with a lot of the bigger players without having the capital that the bigger players have.
Yeah. Ray, for yourself, getting into 44 different markets, and that's quite a lot of things to get under your control, right? How did you manage that process of taking your business into new territories?
Oh, so I think I view the world as borderless rather than with borders. This is one. It's just at any point of time, it's just there'll be countries that are trying to outbeat each other. So that's the thing. So for me, actually entering a country, population is important for me. Typically 40 million above population because I'm in the consumer market. So that will mean that your effort is easily being realized into action and results because of the sheer size of population. So that is one. Second, as we move to different countries, I think legality is important. This is one. Sensitivity of culture difference is second. So that's something which we always take note. And then from there on, you build the people on the ground. So that's very important because you can't find something similar like us in terms of structure, in terms of efficiency. So the ground people is important. And then all the time we are looking for trusted people and getting feedback on the real ground, the political climate, the economic climate is important. And that's where the EO comes in to help me a lot, providing real-time information. And we start to expand and one by one, footprint by footprint, because ultimately cash flow is also another thing that we need to take note. And sometimes as you go along, you met with circumstances like war and everything. So you just got to be nimble. So for me, in short, whenever there's turmoil, there's always opportunity because that's where a lot of people actually start to withdraw from the country. And actually, honestly, you're the least competition at the point of time. More than often, actually, you gain more market share. I only can say the brave heart will actually have the guts to move into this kind of situation.